I paid a team to build something for 8 months, and it still wasn't done after all these months of headache and pain and investments. So one day I said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna sit down and rebuild the core of it in 2 days. And before you think that this is one of those AI is magic and developers are in trouble videos, slow down. This is the lazy version of the story. The real version is more uncomfortable and it points straight back at me. If you are a founder or you want to be one, probably is going to point at you too. And here's my promise for the next few minutes. One of the most expensive mistakes that I made as a bootstrap founder here in Malaysia, and I'm going to give you the exact tech stack that I used to rebuild it in plain English so nobody can gatekeep this from you again. I'm going to back it all up with real numbers and real examples, and I'm going to give you one test that you can run before you ever hire or spend another ringgit again. So here's what happened. I run a tech company completely bootstrapped. We have no external funding. Everything is true profits that we make every month. No investors, money to burn, no rich uncle. Every ringgit that we spend is every ringgit that we make. So I decided to build a learning platform for my company, a proper product, the kind of thing that required real engineering. And so I did what every article, every LinkedIn guru, every startup podcast tells you to do. I hired developers. Get a technical team, move fast, looks legit. Month 1 actually felt amazing. We had stand-ups, we had a nice board full of tasks, we had a lovely feeling of momentum, and it actually looked like a real company. It felt like we were making progress. And month 3, something started to feel off. The product was being built, but it was drifting. Little by little, it was becoming something the business did not actually need. By month 6, I was paying salaries every month for a thing that I was quickly losing faith in. It was slow, it was complicated, it didn't work, it was buggy. Every time I asked for a change, it took a week just for design to be up, then it took another 2 weeks for it to be shipped just to cost another buck somewhere else. It was an endless loop, and I kept telling myself to just push through it, to just invest a bit more, keep going a bit more. It's gonna come together. By month 8, you know what? I stopped lying to myself. This is just not working. We spent so much time, it's time to cut the losses. And here's the part that really stung. My developers were not lazy. They were not stupid. And they were building exactly what I told them to build. The problem was that I had never gotten clear with what that actually was. I handed them a blurry photo and asked them to paint it in high definition. Yes, granted, there were a few things that the developers could have improved on, but in grand scheme of things, it just wasn't there. And I just got really frustrated. So when I just sat down with the coding tools, just me, no team, no meeting, no board, just me. And I started building the actual thing that I wanted. Not the thing in the spec, but the thing that's in my head. 2 days later, I had a working version of the core, the part that actually mattered, the part that 8 months and a full team had circled around, but never quite landed properly. Now, everyone may be looking forward to the headline about how AI replaced my entire team in 2 days. Share and like and subscribe, but that's a lie. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to sell you a lie. And here's the truth. I did not have a coding problem. I had a clarity problem. My team could build. I just could not tell them what to build because I had not done the thinking myself. And maybe if I communicated out, it wasn't clear enough, and they took something that wasn't clear and they started building that something wasn't clear, and it just led to a lot of mistakes. I call this the clarity tax that every founder will at some point have been through it. Every single month, your team ships the wrong thing because the founder outsourced thinking before doing it. You pay that tax in salaries, you pay for it in time, and you pay it in a product that slowly becomes a stranger to your own business. Now, let me just share something and teach you something now, because I really hate videos where they talk about story and leave you with nothing you can really use, right? People think building software today needs a team and maybe it's a lot of budget, but it does not. It all it requires is one person to own the product, to have really clear thinking, cheap tools to build a real product. Let me demystify the whole thing in 90 seconds, and I'm going to show you my actual stack and what each piece actually does in plain English. The part that users see, the buttons and the icons and the screens, I built with Next.js and React, and I put it live on a Vercel. Come very straightforward stack. Think of Vercel as a magic push button. You finish your work, you push it live, and it goes live on the internet. It's free to start as well. Place where all the data lives, your backend, the logins, the accounts, the save progress, all of that goes into Supabase, and they have an open source version as well. Think of it as a filing cabinets for your business. It stores everything and it checks who is logged in. It's also free to start. Sitting in front of all this is Cloudflare. This is your security guard and your speed booster. It keeps the bad traffic out and makes sure that everything loads fast. For the heavy work that needs real horsepower, I rent a cheap computer in a data center from Hetzner, a few euros a month, not thousands, just a few euros, like 5 or 6 euros. And that is the expensive server build that everyone is scared. And the tool that I use to build is Claude Code, or sometimes Codex. I describe what I want in normal plain English, and it writes the code in Node, in TypeScript, in Python, all all of it. And this is the important part. So listen up here. Claude Code follows the exact same rule as a human team. If I am vague, it builds vague. If I am clear, it builds clear. And that is the whole secret. Every tool that I just named is a clarity amplifier. It takes whatever is in your head and makes it real fast, which is amazing when your head is clear and a disaster when it is not. Add it all up. To build and run a real prototype, I'm spending close to nothing. 3 tiers and a few ringgit a month. Compare that to what I was spending on a full team, tens of thousands of ringgit every month. The tool was never the expensive part. The lack of clarity is. So let me just stop you before you just quit your job right now and go vibe code a startup over these weekends. AI writing code is not free magic. It is fast, and in the wrong hands, it is very dangerous because you won't be able to maintain the code anymore. In 2025, a security company called Code ran the biggest study of its kind. They tested over 100 AI models on real coding tasks. Nearly half of the code these models wrote, 45%, failed basic security tests. And it gets worse. Teams leaning hard on AI were shipping code around 4 times faster, but creating app 10 times more security problems along the way. So no, I did not replace my developers with a chatbot. What I built within 2 days was a prototype that finally proved what we should be building. Turning that into something safe, something that worked, something that did not leak your users' data at 3 AM. That still needs a lot of real engineering discipline. AI got me clarity fast. It did not get me a finished product. Anyone who tells you otherwise is probably trying to sell your course. It's gonna make some of you uncomfortable is that this story is not rare. It is the single most common way that companies die. The most famous study on why startups fail comes from CB Insights. They read the post-mortem of hundreds of dead startups. The number one killer blamed in around 42% of the case was not running out of money. It was not getting out-competed. It was building something that nobody needed. Read that again. 4 out of 10 startups die not because they built badly, but because they built the wrong thing well. And that is a clarity failure wearing an execution costume. Imagine you hire a renovation contractor before you even decided what to build, before you decided how your house looked. You say you just want it to look nice. So they knock down a wall and you see it and you actually think, wait, no, build it back again. Then you change the kitchen tiles 3 times. Every change spends more money every single week. 6 months later, you have spent a fortune, everyone is frustrated, and you're standing in a house that nobody actually designed. Was the contractor the problem? No. You hired a builder to do a designer's job. You paid workmen to figure out what you wanted while the meter was running. And this is exactly what hiring developers before you have a clarity feels like. Every Malaysian probably has heard of a renovation horror story. Almost nobody realizes that they are about to do the same thing if they have a software team. So the part that's going to annoy a lot of people is that most founders actually hire developers way too early. Not because the developers are the problem, because the founder has not earned the right to the team yet. You do not deserve a team until you can say in plain words exactly what you want to build and why. Until then, a team just builds your confusion faster and sends you the invoice. So here's what you actually have to do. 2 steps, just write it down. Step 1, before you hire a single developer, build the ugly version yourself. Not the pretty one, not the scalable one, but the embarrassing, held together with a tape kind of version, the prototype with actual workflows, with your own 2 hands, using the exact kind of cheap tools that I was telling you about. Feel where it breaks, fix it, feel what is missing, and just know that you are not trying to build a final product, you're only trying to buy clarity. Step 2, run what I call the 1-sentence build test. Before you spend real money, you must be able to finish this 1 sentence out loud. This helps this specific person do this specific thing, and the very first version only has to do one thing. If you can say that sentence cleanly, you are ready to build and your team will fly. If you stumble, if you need 3 minutes to think about it and a whiteboard to explain it, you are probably not ready to hire, you are ready to prototype. Because here's the rule that cost me 8 months to learn. If you cannot describe exactly what you want to build, no team on earth can build it for you. They will just guess expensively while you pay them to. So the thing that I realized here is that the people who win here are not the best coders. They're not even the ones with the biggest teams. They are the ones who are able to think very clearly about their problem and describe it. They know exactly what they want to build. They have product ownership. Clarity first, building comes next. The combination that used to take a year and a computer science degree to learn, it does not anymore. The building part got really cheap now. I just show you the entire stack that I was using, and that is basically for free. The thinking part became rare. Knowing what to build, the ownership, that's rare. And that rare thing will always be rare. It will always be the valuable thing, even with AI coming in. And that is the kind of person that I am a little obsessed with right now. The clear thinker who also can build, because that person does not need permission. They do not need a huge budget. They do not need to wait for a technical co-founder to save them, and they don't need to wait 8 months finding out, that they built the wrong thing. So let me just leave you with this. Founders do not lack developers, they lack clarity. Your team may be slow, they may not be slow. Your thinking probably is slow. Build the ugly version first. You can do it yourself over a weekend. If you cannot pass a 1-sentence test, do not hire for it. I paid for 8 months and above 6 figures to pay for it. You got it for free. If this hits a nerve, save it and send it to a founder friend who is about to hire a whole team to build something for an idea that they may not be able to explain well in a sentence yet. They need this more than you do.